Hello friends, this is Growl. In this video, I'm reviewing our friend Wolffrost who submitted a plus 15 Mists of Tyrna Scythe run during Sanguine Quaking Fortified. I did this live on stream for some chat interaction as well, and I hope the information helps you guys trying to level up your game and work towards KSM or whatever your goals are. As always in these videos, go easy on him. Wolf was nice enough to submit the video and is trying to improve. I'm always taking submissions for these types of videos in the Yumytv Discord and the Clips and Videos channel. Since the launch of this series, we've actually grown a community of people reviewing each other's videos, so even if I can't get to all of them, there's almost always someone in there who's willing to provide help. I'll cut to the live audio now. Happy keying. Alright, this is a relevant key for once. We're doing this week. You have Fortified, Sanguine, Quaking, Prideful, and a Resto Shaman. I have a feeling we may have some beefs with the UI right away. Okay, it looks like we're playing on somewhat low resolution because this stuff is taking up a lot of space. Wait, how is the timer up here? Okay, I think you can do this in base UI too. All right, so we got some mega base UI going on here. I don't know if we're playing. I don't know if this is the 17-inch resolution laptop gang, but I don't know how we deal with this. Let's get into combat for a second, then we can talk about our UI. Okay, so our details is overlapping all of our stuff here. I don't hate this, but we should probably find a way to like remove this during a key. I think you can use an add-on. If you use any of the keystone, like Angry Keystone or Mythic Plus Timer or one of those add-ons, I think it automatically closes your quest log and this stuff. You may want to consider that because like this whole block is taking up a ton of your space and you're like not really looking at it very much. Other than that, personally, I like to have my skills up on my screen, like further up so I can see stuff better, but I know that's the PvP look. I think these skills can be smaller too. If you just have like a mishmash of skills, like stuff that you don't normally click on. Oh yeah, we're definitely a PvPer. You see this right here? We have focus kick for arena 1, 2, 3. This is the C-do. We definitely play some PvP here. I don't know what it is about PvP UIs and playing with base UI, but it is what it is. Okay, so let's go into this pull. So right away, this first pull and miss is going to be one of the scariest pulls. These guys hurt really, really bad. And also this bleed hurts really bad. So we need to go into this pull firing. We drop our Cloudburst right away. We're using our Riptides. Our Earth Shield is up. The most important thing you want to track on this pull is these bleed debuffs. You want to be watching who has these bleeds because these hurt really bad. So we see that our tank has 2. We don't care that much about that. But our rogue has 2. We need to make sure we're doing some big healing on our rogue. One thing you can do is cap totem these guys. It sort of delays them a little bit. A lot of times I like to cap totem on pull or close to it. Okay, so going into this pull, I'm looking at our target frame. This might be the UI episode. I'm looking at our target frame here, and do you look at this up here? I feel like I would never look at either of these things up here. Maybe this is like the PvPer thing where they look up here, but I would take this, I would move it towards the middle of your screen to make sure that you're targeting the right thing. I don't know what's going on exactly with our frames either, like our nameplates. I don't know if we're only showing stuff that we're in combat with or what, but we need to be able to see nameplates. Maybe it's a range thing. So right away on this pack, I'm putting the Harvester on focus since it's the only guy that we need to kick. This pack doesn't really do that much damage. The only 2 things are this right here, this Villager Beam and the tank damage. Generally you need to be big focused on healing the tank. This is another pack where you want to use Cap Totem. These Soul Cleavers, see this timer right here? This is an ability that leeches life when they hit. So whenever you see that spell used, you want to Cap Totem them so they stop healing. I see a slight lack of DPS. We haven't pressed too many DPS buttons. It looks like 1 Flame Shock, but that's okay. We're using healing wave. I would generally just prefer to always use surge when our mana is that high. Also, we generally, as a default, I'll use ascendance on this pull always. We did use ascendance. Okay, good. Guess I just wasn't paying attention. Okay, we kick something, which is good. So far, we haven't used our cap totem once. I'm repeating myself here a lot, but this is definitely a pack that we want to cap totem often, especially when you see this. Like, be a good friend of your Earth Ellie, or I mean your Ellie Shaman. If you see earthquakes down, that's always a good spot to cap, especially a pull like this where your tank is going to want to kite. Again, these mobs will leech as well. We're doing a good job kicking on cooldown. It might be hard if you got the PvP binds. It looks like we might have a oh yeah, this is F kick. I assume this is focus kick. We're using our kick on cooldown though, which is good. Sin Rogue, yeah. This is I don't want to call it a reject squad, but we got some off meta specs here. We got, this is Fury Warrior, Sin Rogue, Ellie Shaman. I think Ellie Shaman might own. Oh, I just realized our details is on healing. Honestly, I probably wouldn't even look at details. I would just like tuck this away in the corner. Looking at healing doesn't really matter that much. I think you can disable these tooltips in combat as well. See, it's like, for me, this is really annoying when I'm playing, because see how it changes size and stuff all the time? This is something I would change regularly. So these guys you can outrange, but in pugs you probably will never do that. This is generally always where I use my Spirit Walker's Grace here. Sometimes I'll even use it early just so I don't forget, because sometimes you have to do a lot of moving around and stuff. Ooh, what happened there? How did our buddy die? Hold on. Yeah, see how completely unready we were to heal this? Like, these guys, both of these guys will rage at 50%, right? So we need to have a plan, and we need to be ready to heal these guys really quick. So like right away when I see these guys doing this, I'm like sort of ramping in a way. I'm making sure my Earth Shield's up, my Riptide's up, which are, and then as soon as you see this thrashing go up, you just need to start spamming Healing Surge on whoever's in danger, right? Like, see how much hesitation there was there when this guy died? I mean, obviously he probably could have pressed a button to live, but at the same time, like, there was a lot of hesitation here. Like, watch, there's like a lot of, see, we step back. Like, I don't know, I don't know what this was. We're like pressing Riptide here, maybe. Yeah, this was big hesitation. It's definitely something that, you know, if you're not as experienced with this part of the dungeon, but right, you see how much movement is involved. Like right here, as soon as you see Furious thrashing and you see this little AoE weak aura and you see everything going on, this should immediately be Spirit Walker's Grace and just start letting surges rip. You also can use your Primordial Wave. Like, you should have a Primordial Wave ready for this too. Like, you could have used a Primordial Wave here, and then you would have had 3 or 4 Riptides out, and you could have used a big surge or a big wave, but we were very unprepared for this. This is like one of the heaviest AoE damages in the dungeon, so we link, but it's a little bit too late. Big hesitation. Uh-oh. We pop Ascendance, which I think is reasonable. In a hierarchy, I try and save Ascendance for the Pride after this, especially because people kind of end up sandbagging cooldowns because they're trying to save it for the boss, so this can be a hard Pride, but in a 15 that's fine. Let's see exactly when we press it. Again, just a lot of hesitation, right? Well, granted, our Ascendance was off cooldown, but I think, remember, we can press Cloudburst here too. Like, see, we have a Cloudburst rolling. There's not very many situations where I would cut a Cloudburst, but this is a situation where you can cut your Cloudburst early, because there's no more damage other than the tank. So as soon, like, while that thrash is going on, you can just cut your cloud burst because it's off the GCD and it's just like a little bit of a free heal on everybody. I don't know if we don't have NG res, but this is going to spawn Pride and we should be resurrecting our friend. He's not going to be able to make it back. So looks like nope. If you're doing Mythic Plus at a 15 level or anything higher, you should have engineering leveled. And you should be rushing to res this guy. It looks like our LE Shaman did it for us, which is nice. Yeah, so someone brought up clicking the frames. Personally, I recommend using mouse over macros for everything. I think in Mythic Plus, it just saves time. I know PvPers do weird, so if you're against it for your religion or whatever, that's fine. But like that delay and that hesitation there is partly caused by needing to click and misclick and stuff like that. Damn, our damage numbers are so why are our damage numbers so big? Look at how big our damage numbers are. I feel like our UI has a lot of stuff going on, but not a lot of important stuff. Like these weak auras are really, really big. And then like think about this huge icon that says buffed on our screen, and then think about like our really important abilities down here, like Primordial Wave, which we didn't use on the Pride, or did we use it? No, we didn't. Have we used Primordial Wave once? I'm scrolling through the video. We did use it there, so we've gotten one use out of it, it looks like, but Primordial Wave owns. We used it twice. Okay, so we used it a little bit, but it's not like the one guy who never used it at all. But just keep that in mind that, you know, you have stuff like this that's taking up a ton of space on your screen, and then you have other stuff like Primordial Wave, which is clearly good to use right here. Why do you prefer Dis over Holy? Because it does more damage. Healing combat text? Yeah, I think I have healing text disabled, but I still show damage. Mainly for raid though. I don't think it gets too distracting in Mythic Plus. So this is a boss where correctly we're focusing really heavily on DPS. Again, in lower keys it won't matter that much, but also keep in mind we need to be using our flame shocks. Part of what makes this boss really good for Shaman is that you can put flame shock on both of the mobs. So like we flame shock this guy, then we're spamming lava burst, and then right away you want to put your flame shock on Ingra too. The more flame shocks you have, the more procs that you'll get for lava burst, right? So a lot of times what I like to do with my flame shocks here is one on Droman and then one on Ingra, and then the third one back on Droman, and then when he phases or whatever, the flame shock will stay on him. Again, right, in a 15 the damage check isn't going to be too high. Seems like but see, now we don't have our flame shock on Ingra, right? So we lose the ability to, we have to put it up during the extra damage phase. Dude, look at how big our damage numbers is. Holy, look at the numbers. We're blasting. Another thing you can do, I forgot to mention our Primordial Wave. If you feel like you don't need your Primordial Wave to heal, that's what I'll do at the start of that boss. I'll just flame shock one, Primordial Wave the other. That's an easy flame shock that you can get, and you can get two really big duration ones up quick. Hold on, did we just move to the damage meter in the middle of the damage phase? Is that what I just saw here? Did we just switch damage meters in the middle of the boss fight? Are we a DPS player? I feel like this person is such a DPS player thing to do. Look at this. Watch, I'm ready. Okay. Also, the Bloodlust was a little bit late. You want a no, it's fine. You want a Bloodlust ideally when there's 40 seconds on your Pride buff. All right, so here we are. We're blasting. We're blasting. Hold on. We're really checking the meters here. Watch this. Ready? Watch this. We lava burst. Then we forget that we have our IQD. Watch this. Ready? Then we remember we have our IQD. Then we press it. Watch. We're blasting. We're blasting. Okay, we press IQD. We realize, oh shit, there's IQD, right? Then we mouse over our IQD to see what our buff is, and we get mastery. So the way IQD works, if you guys don't know, is it always gets your highest during lust. It always lasts for an extra 5 seconds, and it always gets your highest stat. So if our highest stat is mastery, unironically, we actually want to press it before lust goes off because we want a chance at getting something else, or we can press it for the execute. But if we wait till lust to press it, we're always going to get mastery. Is IQD good for Disc Priest? It's okay. I prefer badge, but if you don't PvP, you can run it. It's fine. Okay, so then we switch to the damage meters. Then we're we switch to the damage meters during the damage phase. Also, we're pressing lightning bolt on one target. We should always be chain lightning. On 2 targets, we should always be pressing chain lightning. Unless you're really worried about phasing this boss, which we shouldn't be. In a 15, we should be pressing chain lightning on 2 targets. We can still press lava burst if you want, just because Fleshcraft, okay. Don't know if we needed that, but I don't disagree. Seems our warrior friend is having a hard time staying out of trouble. Now we're blasting. What is this? Is this the leech trinket? Personally, I'm not a big fan of the leech trinket. I don't necessarily mind our choices, and obviously we have to work with what we got. But we're running leech trinket, I think that's what this is, and we're also running IQD, so we're actually not getting too much like I'd rather just have stat procs. I'd rather just have like changeling or like any of the PvP trinkets or anything like that. Okay. So let's observe our maze doing. So on 2 targets, our DPS rotation is going to be Flame Shock, then Chain Lightning, and then use our procs when applicable. Sometimes in like really low keys, like this defender dies really fast, there's not even a need to use our Flame Shocks. Okay, so we saw the guy go right, so we should know it's right. Okay, good. Okay, so I would like to see us trying to do the maze. Again, I don't know what's going on with our nameplates. It seems like a weird... See how like some... I don't know what's going on with our nameplates, why they don't always show, but... So a lot of these pulls in Mist, this is a really good exercise to get used to using kick and focus kick, because all these packs are going to have an important mob. So like we should be focus targeting the Shaper right away, especially if you're going to be the PvP guy that you have to click your party members and you're not using mouse over macros. There's no excuse not to use focus target. Like, yeah, I get it. We kicked that guy right there because we clicked with our mouse, but if we're clicking on party members, we definitely need to use focus targets. One thing I've been trying to do is hex this bite lately. It's kind of hard. You have to predict this. So at this point, I think we're padding a little bit. We can save much more time here if we do the maze instead of just spamming chain lightning. Doing the maze right now is so much bigger of a time save than attacking mobs, because now, like, look, what do we do? See, like, all right, we're opting out of the maze here. Okay, so watch this, right? This is filled leaf. This is empty leaf. So these two are both leaves and both have no circle. So we know that the path is flower with a circle. So we already know this is the correct path. We don't even need to look at the top one. We know for sure that it's down. Okay, we did it. We did it. Okay, nice. All right, we're looking at this one. It's an empty. All right, nice. Now we remembered. Okay, all right, chat. What is it? You guys should already know what the symbol is. Pausing it. I'm giving you guys a chance to say what the symbol is. You guys should already know. Leaf circle. Hell yeah. You guys have done your homework. So you already know what it is, right? You already know it's this door over here. He already knows it's this door. I like to have a marker, especially in pugs. What I do is I have a marker down or bound to one of my buttons, and I'll immediately put the marker over there just so people know. So one thing you can do in these packs, by the way, you don't necessarily have to decide either to do the maze game or do the like fight the pack. What I'll do is as soon as I go into the maze room, I'll press Spirit Walkers. That gives me 15 seconds to heal and DPS while I do the maze, right? In that 15 seconds, I can usually get to 3 of the statues, and then I can stop and start healing, right? So every time I go into this room, I try and press Spirit Walkers, and then just like spam Chain Lightning or heal my tank, whatever I feel like I need. Let's give credit where credit's due here for our friend here. He's using classic WoW PvP or UI. He's done a great job keeping up his Earth Shield, using his Riptides on cooldown. He's always dispelling important debuffs. He's using his kick, right? Let's give him credit where credit's due. And, all right, good. We know the maze. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, here's Empty Flower. Okay, here's Empty Flower again. Again, right? Remember, we could Spirit Walkers here. We don't have to press Ghost Wolf and run around. We can press Spirit Walkers and DPS/heal while we're running around. Okay, we already know what it is. What is it, chat? You guys are paying attention, right? What was it? Leaf circle again. There it is. We already know what it is. Now we can see that was our 15 seconds. Remember what I was talking about Spirit Walkers? We already know what it is, and now we can stop. Our Spirit Walkers is running out, hypothetically, and then we can start DPSing. Oh, hold on. He is in danger. Not only is Zaf playing the maze game, but he's also realizing when we're in danger. Yeah, so this guy's frontal will kill you in one hit. So you have to remember to be watching this guy while you're doing the... Did we click a potion? Hold on, where do we click a potion? All right, hold on. So first of all, if we should have our health potion bound, right? I get it. The theme is that we're a PvPer. The theme is that we are PvPer and we don't have potions bound, but we should have health potions bound, right? Worst case scenario, let's say you really don't care, right? Well, then bind your health stones and your potion to one button. Also, there's no damage incoming, right? There's no reason to waste a health potion here. There's nothing that's going to kill us. The only thing that will kill us is if we somehow get meleeed, or if we get hit by that again, right? There's no need to panic here. See, like we potion, but there's no danger. The only danger was the frontal. So keep in mind that health potions are a 5-minute cooldown now, and you don't want to waste them. Because we might be in danger later on. We may end up head first in a frontal. All in all, I'd say we're doing a reason. Oh, hold on. Let's see what happened here. Let's see what happened here. Okay, so this debuff right here, this shred armor, this hurts really bad. In my opinion, I would say this is probably more of a tank error here. When we get to 2 or 3 stacks of the shred armor, we should probably have a defensive pressed. So I would say this isn't super our bad, but at the same time, like I don't know, it's fine. I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't worry about that too much. Also, oh no, never mind. This is going to be pride. So we do have engineering. We do do the battle res. I mentioned that earlier. All right, our Earth Ollie's going ham. Chat, have we figured out what legendary he's running? Oh, I bet he's running Earth Shield. That's my guess. I bet he has the Earth Shield Lego. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Nothing wrong with that at all. I think that's a fine Lego to run in pugs. Okay, so I think we know what is the right one to press. So let's watch our pride rotation. We're putting down a healing rain. Okay, we're putting some riptides out here. Nice. We have cloudburst rolling. Great usage of cloudburst again. I would have a hard time if I was running PvP or UI to keep my cloudburst maintained, but doing a great job here. Usually around this time is when I like to start busting out my big buttons. So we have Healing Tide, which isn't that big of a button, but I usually end up pressing it here. We also have our Primordial Wave. These are really good buttons to press. Again, we're not under too terribly much pressure. Nice. We know we're doing the maze now. Okay, let's see. Empty flower with circle. Leaf. All right, so this is a little bit of a cheat one. So this is a high probability play. We can actually assume that this is the correct gate because it has all three differences from the very first one. That's like a little bit of a cheat that you can do. I haven't worked out the combinatorics yet, if that's 100% true, but I believe the full leaf is the correct answer. If you see a pedestal and you know that the pedestal is safe, right? Empty flower with a circle, and then you see a door that has all three of the attributes different, I believe you can automatically assume that's the way. I haven't worked that one out fully, but I believe that's how it works. Okay, so now we know what it is, right? Now we know that was the correct path. See, this is where not focusing a mob at the start of the pack gets us behind now, right? Let's say we need to kick something. Let's say there's a heal that goes off, right? We need to kick it. How in the world are we going to click on one of these nameplates to kick the mob, right? And technically, yeah, we do have the shaper selected, but we'll need to, you know, click on our teammates to heal them. So granted, again, it's a 15. We're not under too much pressure. It seems like, oh no. Yeah, unfortunately, not a whole lot we can do there. Our warrior seems to have a hard time staying out of trouble. That's just fine. Oh, okay, we had to open our map there. Okay. Or, I think we're oh, okay. Here's what hold on. Here's what I think that happened here. Now I understand what happened. For some reason, we're not rezzing our warrior. Oh no, did our warrior release? Our warrior died and then released, and then we didn't have the seed. Because who in this group plays Night Fae? We're Necrolord. This guy's probably Venthyr. This guy's not Fae. The rogue isn't Fae. I have a feeling our friend released at the start of the dungeon. I have a feeling that's what happened. Yep. See, that's what we were looking at. You see him? Is this the pug experience? Then our tank just says GG, F it, and just runs into a pack. Our Russian brewmaster just says GG and just runs headfirst into a pack. We already know this is the correct door, by the way, because we wouldn't go backwards. So we don't need to look at the... I don't hate the use of Link there. Sometimes when our tank just dies quickly and we don't know what's going on, especially if he's typing GG, it might be a good idea to just immediately press Link. Again, we don't have anything on focus, right? See this? See how these heals are getting off? Finally, yeah, look, I didn't want you to get punished, but I kind of wanted you to get punished, right? So now here we go. We didn't focus target any of the mobs, and we didn't get a kickoff, and what happened? Now the heal went off. Oh, we do have a... Okay, wait, hold on. Wait, so we actually did focus here. This is the first time I've seen it, right? We actually did focus the mob here. Right? Oh. Okay, so the heal went off. Honestly, I like the way our friend plays. I like the way he plays. He realized right there that we've made a mistake and that we didn't have the tender focused, and he puts it on focus there. So I you know, good on us for at least learning from what happened and realizing that we should have been doing that. It's definitely oh, heal. Okay, well, we also have to use the focus kick. Step 1 is focusing the mob, but step 2 is using our focus kick. We're still making very reasonable time though. Nice, there we go, we got it. Yeah, this is definitely a pull where I'd be tempted to cap totem, right? So if we take a look at the status of our tank, right? He's been getting beat up. He used this fort brew. He's starting to run out of buttons. This would be where I'm looking to help our tank, right? He's getting into red stagger. Our tank needs some help. This is where I'd like to see a cap totem and see some big heals on him. Looks like our Resto Shaman used one, which is nice. And again, we have to be a little careful DRing the mobs. We don't want to throw cap totem willy-nilly, but that was a spot where I would have liked to seen it. Oh no. Another thing, I don't know what add-on or whatever we're using for our nameplates, but that we're seeing the timer debuff on the mobs. We should probably find a way to blacklist that or get that out of our screen. Because that's definitely unnecessary clutter. Wait, how is the warrior dead again? He walked all the way back from the start with invis pot. When should you slow totem? Yeah, exactly. Right when the tank starts kiting is ideally when we want to use it. We have to be careful because we don't want to slow stuff in sanguine. This poor warrior, dude. This poor warrior. Oh no. Wait, can we see the brewmaster's chat? Oh man, look. This is a great pug experience. I definitely really, this is a great video. This is a great video. This boss is kind of boring. See if anything exciting. I'll just like skim through it. We used our primordial wave for the AoE heal. This is good. This is a great fight for primordial wave. Maybe on a lower key you can't, but in any like decent sized key you can actually use primordial wave with a cloudburst on every intermission. This is one where primal wave feels great. Still easily in time, exactly. There's plenty of room for errors. Hold on, I'm looking at this guy's screen. Is this why the pugs in my group never know which one it is? Look, how is this guy even supposed to know which one it is? Look at his screen right here. How how do we even know which of the ones it is? We can't even see any. How? We're just following our team, basically. We're just following our team here. That's all right. Definitely a lot of UI cleanup, and so a lot of the theme of this video has been talking about UI. So this is what I would do. This is how I cleaned up my UI when I was playing. I would have a notepad file on my other monitor, or on, let's say we're tabbed out because we're maybe playing on a laptop or a smaller screen. And every time there's like something that's messed up or something that obscures my vision, I would write it down in the notepad file, right? So for example, I would have like made a mental note of this moment, and then I would have gone back and watched in the video to see what I could have cleaned up, right? Some of the things on top of nameplates and some of the weak auras. And that's essentially how I built my entire UI, is every time there was something that happened that I felt was either unnecessary or clutter or something I couldn't see that I wanted to see, I would just write it down while I was keying and then check back on it later. Circled leaf. Nice. Our team's doing good. We're blasting. Also, someone mentioned he's using the Mana Tide Lego. I don't know how you knew. Oh, maybe you looked up his, yeah, the warrior's dead. Let's be honest, we weren't that surprised. Our warrior's having a bad day. Our warrior's having a bad day, but that's okay. The BM this time, nothing in the chat yet. Oh, nice, the water walking. Requires Covenant Night Fae. We tried to click the seed, but we couldn't. Again, I like it. See, we're learning here. We focus targeted the Staghorn. Maybe we were doing more focus targeting later, or previously, I mean. Again, on 3 targets, we just need to be chain lightning. Unless they're, well, so we're not even targeting the highest health mob. We're targeting the lowest health mob. So if you're using Lava Burst Flame Shock on a 3 or more pack, we should be doing it on the prio targets. But in general, like 3 mobs, I would just be spamming chain lightning. Since the patch where they up the damage on chain lightning, it's like the GOAT to press on multi-target. Okay, we got a little bit of a scary pride here. See how we handle it. We're spamming Surge. We got lots of buttons that can catch us up though, right? We have all of our buttons actually. So anytime I go into a pride and it's scary like this, where there's a bunch of mobs and stuff, I almost immediately just press a button out of the gate. Usually it's either Primordial Wave or Healing Tide. Ideally it's Healing Tide just to get caught up. I would really like to press a Healing Tide here and then a Healing Rain, because then we can get our Flame Shock up and our Lava Burst. Especially in a 15, because there's not really that much danger in a 15, right? The guy will die fast. We don't need to worry about running out of cooldowns. Seems like we've stabilized for the most part. Again, right, we're kind of falling behind here. And if we get a bad Quake, it can be tough. I guess we're going for the... we do use our Primordial Wave. I feel like we haven't used Healing Tide once in the whole dungeon. In general, just get in the habit of lobbing Healing Tide during Pride. Especially if you're running Heavy Rainfall. Which I'm guessing we're probably not, because we haven't pressed Healing Tide once the entire dungeon. Yeah, we did use Mana Tide there, which is fine. Don't be afraid to just rip like 10 chain heals either when you press that. All right, so we got some Reaver friends in here. Again, this is another one where, you know, I think this is taking up a bit too much space here. I'd be looking to shrink these. Other than that, though, playing reasonably, using our cooldowns. Yeah, I'm definitely looking to keep our warrior friend top tier. Never know what's gonna happen to him. Okay, we focus the Acid Gullet. The only caster mob in this pack is the Staghorn. So maybe it was just a misfocus. And our warrior friend just takes a lot of damage. It's a tough life out there for a warrior. But we're still oh. What happened? What even happened? I don't like what? What did he even do? Sanguine. Okay, so right here, you can actually single res the warrior. Watch what happens. Watch what happens here. We start casting our single res, but we just panic and run to the tank. In my opinion, this is... We should just let you... If the tank wants to run in, especially considering we don't have the seed, I would just be single resing the warrior. And then if the tank dies, the tank dies. I would just stay out of combat here and res the warrior, because this pull is going to take a very long time with only 4 people, and we don't have the seed, and we have Pride coming soon. Is Vengeance still miles ahead of other tanks? I don't think Vengeance was miles ahead before the changes, so I definitely don't think it's miles ahead now. Yeah, okay, so we have 4 people. We have 4. Oh no. Oh no, this is going to be a scary Pride here. Oh no. All right. Hopefully we'll take out the whole kitchen sink for this one. Yeah, the warrior released. He's back at the start of the dungeon. Or don't you get a checkpoint at some point? Don't you get a checkpoint like at the end of the first boss or something? Or no? Okay, so just a tip. He didn't need to use it there, but you can actually use Ascendance while you're nature locked. If you quake yourself and it's an emergency, you can press Ascendance to heal if you need to. I would also be looking to Astral Shift here. Our Pride is at 20 stacks, and we also have the Acid Gullet debuff. We absolutely need to Astral Shift. There's like no better value we can get. And again, we're being very greedy here. We still have Ascendance, we still have Healing Tide. The Pride is 20 stacks, and we only have 3 people. If this isn't a situation where you'd use a button, I don't know what is. But we definitely need to press a button here. Again, I get it that it's a 15 and you can just spam Healing Surge through everything, but should definitely get in the habit of pressing your buttons. Okay, so we drop our Mana Tide Lego, we're spamming Chain. A little bit of a danger here. We press Mana Tide, but our Cloudburst ran out. Our Cloudburst ran out when we Mana Tide. Part of the benefit is the Mana Tide Lego is that we can juice up a Cloudburst too, so be careful. You know, I maybe would have tried to throw down a Cloudburst before I press Mana Tide. And again, we have Ascendance, we have Healing Tide, we have like every button. I don't know if we're trying to man mode up. And again, this is a great spot to Ascendance when everyone's about to quake. But it looks like we don't want to use Ascendance. And this is definitely a spot where we're playing whack-a-mole a little bit here. Like, everyone in our team is above 80% health, and this pack is like pretty easy. No one is in real danger. Everyone has Pride buff. I think we can just be spamming Chain Lightning here and not needing to worry too much. I'm not going to harp that much about like not DPSing because it's only a 15, but just keep this in the back of your mind, right? Like, no one in your team is in danger here. We don't need to be like using Healing Surge. There we go. See, all right, we realize it. We realize it. Although I don't mind, right? I don't mind keeping our team topped and being a little more defensive minded in this key. We use the Mana Tide Lego on CD. I mean, you have a lot of CDs, right? So keep in mind, don't just think of one CD in a vacuum. Don't just think of when do I use my Mana Tide totem, right? Think about, you have Mana Tide totem, you have Ascendance, you have Link, you have Healing Tide, you have Primordial Wave, right? So just keep constantly cycling through all of them. Ideally, you like to have one button for an emergency, but even with, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, when we have 4 buttons, we can afford to constantly use one of them, like just going into a pull. We don't need to, you know, don't think of all of your CDs in a vacuum of just like, when is the best time to use X CD, but you just think about like, okay, what CD should I use in this pull? Don't think of like, should I use a CD or when should I use Mana Tide? Just think like, okay, which CD is good for this pull, you know? And like this one, I might be tempted to just use Primordial Wave. Like Primordial Wave is always going to be my like first line of defense, just because it's such a short CD. The Consumptive Infusion Trinket? Yeah. Is that like a PvP thing? I don't know. Personally, I'm not a big fan of it. It's okay, though. Obviously, like, we gotta make do with what we got. Okay, our Brewmaster says stay here. We still have infinite time. Alright. Alright, we gotta fix whatever this nameplate setting is, because it has to do with like combat. Like, it's not showing we gotta see nameplates early because it makes it hard to focus mobs. Kilthos doesn't drop Tuft. Yeah, I haven't gotten a Tuft on my Priest. I've killed Kilthos every week from the beginning of the tier, and I haven't gotten a Tuft. Again, on multi-targets, I'd probably prefer to just be Chain Lightning here, especially in lower keys. The lower the key is, the better it is to just rip Chain Lightning, because your Flame Shocks aren't going to get full value. Like, that pack only lasted like, you know, 20 seconds, so maybe only like 1 Flame Shock at the beginning, and then just start ripping Chain Lightnings and only using your procs. All right, we have all 5 players for this. Ooh, Monka, those bees. This is where not having mouse overs is hard for us. It takes more work to use our Lava Burst proc here on the Pride, because we have our party members selected. We have to like click on the Pride and we end up not using our proc there, or maybe we use it there, I don't know. Again, Healing Tide, just your Healing Tide's always on CD. You never use it, just use it on every Pride. If you're ever on a Pride and you have Healing Tide, just press it. Just don't even think anything of it. It's not like that great of a button, but like still it'll help keep everyone topped, you know. It smooths out the middle areas of the Pride. And it won't matter that much when you're doing 15s, but as you get into harder and harder keys, we might need to clean up this area a little bit too. This is the first time I've noticed our boss timers, but maybe we can edit these too and make these smaller. We can make these smaller and maybe move them a little bit. It feeds Cloudburst. It does not feed Cloudburst. I think the Healing Rain does, like if you're using Heavy Rainfall, but Healing Tide itself does not feed Cloudburst. Only healing that you do does. We're blasting. No, it's not both DBM and Bigwigs. The top one is like it has like 2 different bars. Like, these are the close ones. Like, these are the ones that'll come within 10 seconds, and then the ones on top are at longer than 10 seconds. Yeah, definitely like to focus the boss here too. Sometimes I forget to, but especially in a pug, I don't know if I would trust the pugs to be kicking the boss. But we blast it. Healing Tide does not. Healing Rain does. Putting my trust into pug members, that's scary. One thing you can do with this, by the way, is when you see Mind Link, I would start running right away. Because a lot of times the deaths in this boss comes to Mind Link. So whenever you see, oh, what the hell, Keystone Master, grats, dude. We did it. New key, Halls of Atonement 12. Do we get big loot? Wow, look at that positivity. Thanks for the run, guys. Our brewmaster immediately leaves. Rogue immediately leaves. Hope you have a great evening. What look at this great positivity. Look at this great positivity from our friend. I think our friend, so in summation, we need to clean up our UI for sure, especially when you're playing on a laptop or whatever. If you got a small screen, it's even more important that you clean up your UI. Also, just don't be afraid to use CDs. You know, make sure you keep your CDs rolling, your Healing Tide, your Ascendance. It seems like, I feel like you did reasonably. You did reasonably. I've watched some videos where people never use it. I feel like you never used your Healing Tide and probably didn't quite get enough use out of Ascendance or SLT. My group's tank is using a 197 shield still. Sag. Wait, what the hell? I got kicked? Sag.